It's cracking, everybody. New video. Um, Today's video is gonna be different. If you notice, I've been saying that a lot lately. It's because I'm trying to bring you different shit, kind of like pushing my own envelope, basically. Um, Getting myself out of my comfort zone. But this is gonna be, I don't know what I call it, a cautionary tale, right? So you guys know I don't get into politics, so I can't get into certain details. But um, this is another New Folsom story. So there was a homie, and I'm gonna say his name, but I'm not gonna say his neighborhood, only because it's easier to tell the story without saying where he's from. Those that were there at the time will know who I'm talking about. But anyways, so back in New Folsom, C facility was for a long time basically looked at as what Raza from Southern California was basically looked at as a victim yard. And if you were from Southern California and you landed there, there was a curfew, and you had an opportunity to decide what you wanted to do. As far as you could land on C Yard and you can do your time, right? And stay there as long as you can stay there. But if you stayed there past the curfew, when something jumped off and you went to another place, you were going to get hit. So you had the opportunity again to either go over there and do your time, or to do the program and get over there, find you a target, and get off. Go to the SHU or go to B Yard, whatever the administration decided, right? So in this story, you know what? I'm not gonna say his name. Fuck it. There was a homie, and he had been around, and he landed on C facility, right? And when he landed on C facility, he decided he's programming. So he was there long enough to pick a target. And once he had his target, he got off, he whacked somebody, and he went to the hole. Now, this homie did not have a life sentence, right? But he decided to go and do the program. So like I said, he whacked somebody, he went to the hole. Unfortunately for him, the DA decided to pick up his case. It was a DA referral, it was a stabbing, attempted murder. So the DA decided to pick up his case. So while he was in the hole, those of you that don't know, back then, New Folsom's, I'd say, was a time bomb. You were going to go out. There was always somebody that needed to get whacked. There was dudes coming off a C Yard that needed to get whacked. And, it was just a lot of stuff. So he was back there, and he was, getting involved in stuff, and, while also trying to fight this case. And like I said, he didn't have life, but, he was back there doing his thing. So he has his first trial, right? And I think he got a mistrial or something. And so the DA decided to pick up his case again. And like I said, while he's fighting, let me remind you guys too, when you're on the streets and you get charged with a crime, you have a right to a speedy trial because you have a liberty interest. You may have a home, or you have a job, or you have all these things that you could lose if you don't get a fair and speedy trial, right? When you're incarcerated, you don't get that. The case can take 2 to 3 years to prosecute. They don't give a fuck. You don't have a liberty interest. So time is going by, and he's back there, and stuff's happening. And like I said, his first trial, he got in think it was a mistrial or something, and the fucking DA decided to pick up the case again. And unfortunately for him, and I just want to say he for a while there was somebody in the back. You know, he had responsibilities. He was in charge of things back there, and there was an individual from San Diego that wound up becoming his cellie. And this guy, a lot of dudes from San Diego may remember him. If I remember the case right, he had went to a park and he just started killing people at a park. This dude was a psychopath. Well, he wound up in the homie's cell, and one day the homie had a long day at court, and when he came back, his cellie, the crazy ass dude from San Diego, was like, "Hey homie, let's drink this pisto." He had made some Pruno, and he was like, "Hey, let's drink this wine together." But what the homie didn't know is that the crazy dude had put a bunch of medication in there, in the wine. And when the homie, you know, already tired from court, was drinking, he passed out. Luckily for him, he woke up just as the vato finished tying him up. He had tied his ankles and he had tied his wrists, and then proceeded to try to strangle him. Not because it was ordered, not because it was sanctioned, but because he was a psychopath and he was into killing people for no reason. So the homie was able to struggle his way out of it, try to, you know, swing as much as he could, swing his hands, and the tower cop saw it, started shooting Bertha into the cell. They broke it up, and you know, there was but I'm trying to explain to you guys. Again, the homie did not have a life sentence. He was sent to a facility where there was a curfew. He got off, went through a trial. A bunch of shit's happening. He's got responsibilities now. He's, you know, there's a lot of things going on for this individual. On the second trial, he gets another mistrial, right? And what happens? The fucking DA picks up the case again, because they have three chances to try you. The fucking DA won't give this dude a break. So now he went from 6 block where he had been most of the time. He went to 5 block where I was at, and, you know, a bunch of other dudes, and he was on the same yard group as me. And you know, we're all chilling back there doing whatever we do, and you know, I remember one day he went, you know, he was fighting this case, he was back in trial, and this is it. If he gets another mistrial, he's good. You know, he still has his parole date, everything's cool. And then I remember the day when the verdict came in, right? He came back, and he was my neighbor. We're in B section, 5 block. And he came back and he's like, "Damn, fool, was they found me guilty, eh?" And I was like, "Said, or what they give you?" And they gave him life, right? And we had yard probably, I think it was like 2 days later, we had yard. So we go out to yard. Keep in mind, the homie had just got his life sentence. When we go to yard, they call a junta. So, you know, everybody, all the raza from Southern California went to the corner, and, you know, we had to find out whatever new had came up, and trip out on this. So the homie says, "Hey, check this out. Hey, just so everybody knows, Palabra just came down. There's no longer a curfew on C facility. People can go over there and do their time and get their money." And I remember the homie that had just got life, he looked at me dead in my eye, and he just put his head down. And so after the junta broke up, I went over to him and I was like, "You good, Holmes?" He had been in the hole like 7 years fighting that case. And he looked at me and said, "Damn, man, it would have been cool if that Palabra would have came down 7 years ago. But it is what it is." And this is just another one of them stories, for anybody thinking that, you know, you go to prison and, you know, it's cool. You get to kick it with the homies and, you know, it's all fun and games. It's not, you know, this dude, he was probably one of the coolest dudes I ever met in prison. It's very rare when you meet somebody that everybody likes. This was one of them dudes. I never heard anybody say a bad word about this dude. He went, and he wasn't a youngster. He was probably 10 years older than me, you know, and he went and he could have easily went to Sea Yard and just waited it out, and who knows what would have happened. But he was like, nah, I'm going to get off. This is what I'm supposed to do. And he took that life sentence like a champ. But just imagine, you have a date. You know you could go home. And then when you catch that out, you're like, fuck it, that's the program. And then the next couple days later, you're like, fuck it. But that's what it is. You know, you want to be in the streets, you want to be criming it, you're going to go to jail, and things like this happen, man. You as an individual, you don't matter. The program is bigger than you. So that's my story. Hopefully you like it. Be smart, be safe, and don't forget to tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out.